This is Mr. Evans with a video for all my 5th and 6th grade students at Overland Trail Elementary and Overland Trail Middle School on how to use the IPS, which is called the Interactive Practice System, that's designed or comes on your book, Tradition of Excellence. Tradition of Excellence is the book we're using in class and that all of you should have at this time we've started. And if you turn to the back of the book, you'll actually find a spot where it has this little pull out and it has a code written in there. And I'm going to show you how to go to the website, get this software going, and using the code written on this card, or it's actually stamped on the back of your book, you'll be able to have a virtual book at home to practice, which will be able to listen to recordings, play along with things, have little videos with an instructor showing you special tips about your instrument. It's a really neat feature that I'd like you guys to take advantage of. Since you've already purchased the book, you want to get the most of it out of that book as you can. First thing I'm going to go to is I'm going to open my web browser, and it tells you this on the inside of the cover of the book. You're going to go to www.kjos.com. That's the website of the publisher that makes our book, KJOS. They've been around for 75 years. Next thing we're going to do is go to IPS, not ITS, that's for teachers. IPS. Click on this button. Now, we want to select I'm using the IPS for the first time and want to download the software. So you can click it right there. Now it's going to ask us for a number. It's going to ask us for the number out of the back of our book, the one I talked to you about a little bit earlier. So open up your book. I don't want you to use this number because you're going to want to use your specific number that matches your book and your instrument, and you'll see why in a little bit. I'm going to type in one for an example, but you want to type the number that you have in the back of your book. W61A 0028 T. Oops, I didn't start anything because I didn't click it. I'll do that again. W61A 0028 0A55 and TP11. Then you hit submit. Now it's going to double check your requirements. You might want to see with mom and dad and make sure you have this on your computer, but if you have a computer that's less than 5 years old, you should have no problem. We've been using this program for quite a while, and you should have no problems. In fact, I'm going to select Windows computer. If you have a Macintosh, you select here, but I'm going to select I have a Windows computer. I'm actually Windows running 8. I'm going to just say run when it asks me what to do on the installer. You can save it and run it from there, but the best way is just to hit run. It's asking me a security thing from our district. So wants to download. I'm going to say yep. And it's going to install the software. Alright, now my IPS system has been installed. I'm going to close this window, and it's going to ask me some stuff about how to install my software. First of all, it says you're about to install it, so I'm going to say next. I'm going to accept the terms for the agreement. Just let it put it in default. It's going to make a little folder, KJOS Interactive Practice Studio. That's where it's going to save recordings and things that you do. Say next. Now for here, it's either in a new program group where it's going to save the icon. I'm going to put mine on my desktop. You can put it in the start menu or whatever, and quickly, So I'm going to have it put a little desktop icon. Create icons for all users. That's really for us using it on the network. At home, that won't matter for you, but you just want to have it put an icon on your desktop. Say install. It'll install the program depending on how fast your computer or your internet is. It takes a minute or two to put this in. Not too bad. It's done. Alright, it says mine is installed, so I'm going to say done. Now, I asked it to put a icon on my desktop, so there it is. IPS KJOS Interactive. So I'm going to let it sit for a second. I think it's all finished installing. So I'm going to double click and open IPS Practice Studio. The only thing that's left now is I have to create an account. So I'm going to agree to the license. Piware is the company that made this program. Now, this is the entering screen. So once I've installed the software, this is how I enter. And it's going to ask me for my sign-in name. I'm going to make up one today. I already have one, but I need to make one with you so you'll know how to do it. So you hit the plus button because you have to make a new account. It might have already taken you straight to this screen I'm taking you to right now. It might not have taken you to the screen I just showed you. But either way, you need to come to this screen, New User Setup Wizard. You say Next. You can pick your email service, or I do not have an email service and I want to create a free one, or I do not plan on emailing my work to my teacher, so I don't want to set up an email. I would suggest, for now, we've had problems with this where it doesn't work with all systems and it just got really confusing. I would suggest just saying, I do not plan on emailing my work to my teacher, and I'll show you a different way to email me things if you need to. Okay, so just say, I do not plan on emailing, and say Next. Now you're going to put in your sign-in name. So my sign-in name is going to be Mr. Test. Okay? And I'm going to have no password or anything like that because I didn't have an email. So for you, you can put your sign-in name, your first and last name. Now it wants you to put in a license code for your publication. That'll be that same number that we put in earlier, and you'll see why in a second. So I'm going to put in W61. Okay. It's going to say you've entered the code. I did this one for the trumpet. Yours will say whatever your instrument is if you entered it correctly. Say Next. It's going to say, click here to send my registration. I'm going to say, click here to send. This takes a minute. Every time we do this, even when you have a fast internet connection, I think it has to set up and check all the names and things like that. So give yourself a second to get this put in. The good news about it is since you've got the code put in there, you don't have to worry about your username being used and stuff like that, because that's why you're putting in the code also, because it's specific to your book. Okay, it says I've finished. I'm going to say done. So my sign-in is Mr. Test. I'm going to delete that. I want you to see something. Do you see how nothing is available right now? So next time when I sign in, it'll just look like this. If I type in Mr. Test, and I didn't even have to capitalize it, an enter button popped up. That means I typed it in correct, I'm ready to go, I hit enter, and it's going to have my book, whatever your book is, if your instrument's trumpet or trombone or baritone, I say enter. And now I have my book. And it's going to say, what page are you on? Introduction, page 1. I'm going to say, yeah, enter. And now there's a picture of my book, and I have an interactive book that allows me to work on the screen. Anytime you see a little video camera, that means there's a video you can watch. Anytime you see a little star, there's a little handout or something it might bring up. I'm going to give you an example. On our first page on a video on how to put the trumpet together, I can work on it and read the book. I can click this down arrow to see the whole page. It depends on how big your screen is on your computer and your resolution. But I can also watch in the video. So if I click on this little video, it's going to pop up a video, and he's going to show me how to put my trumpet together. If you're a clarinet, he'll be showing you how to do your trumpet, your clarinet, or a baritone, or tuba, or trombone. I'm going to hit stop on that. But anyway, it's like having a private teacher at home with you, and that's on every page you go to. I'm going to go to the next page. It has videos on how to buzz, how to oil it, how to work on your instrument. It also has sometimes pictures of a speaker. So let's say we're on our first page and we're wanting to work on number 5. Mr. Whole Note takes a walk. You can click on this little speaker, and it's going to play the record. It's going to play this for you. Now, right now, it's just playing the background. It says the student part is not being played. I'm going to take that off. And now it's going to play my part. I can hear my note. Rest, 2, 3, 4. D, etc. I can change the speed, I can change the volume. So essentially, I can go through here and just make a recording of anything I'm playing, or listen to any song I'm playing, and be able to do a practice along with anything in the book. I hope this has been a helpful video. I hope you open up this system, make an account, and start using the features of the IPS.